Hi, folks. This is Rick Emmett of Triumph.
This is Mark Merrill, also known as Johnny B. Bad.
Hi, this is a best-selling author. I threw the best-selling in there. Best-selling author Dick Wybrow.
I'm Melanie from Second Shooter.
This is Jeff with Second Shooter.
Hey everybody, it's Bryan Allen from Bridges Ablaze.
Hey, this is Sammy Lee, drummer of the band Red Rain.
Yo guys, it's Mark McKay.
Hey, this is Frank Fletcher.
Hola amigos, this is Billy Sheehan.
Hey guys, this is John Karabi.
Hi, this is Jim Valance.
What's up everybody, it's Logan from All the Pretty Things.
Hey guys, it's Leather Leone.
This is Nothing from Inside the Trojan Horse.
What's up guys, Cassandra Carson here from Paralandra and the Life Project.
My name's Reggie, and you are listening to the Weekly Pour podcast. Thanks so much for joining the most amazing twosome out there.
It's time once again for the Weekly Pour, the show that knows everything about absolutely nothing. Here are your hosts, TbT and Ace.
That's us. And I can't get the picture off, but there we go. Welcome. This is episode 176 of the Weekly Pour podcast. I am TbT. That guy over there, that's Ace. Welcome. It is April 1st, April Fool's Day. We have no April Fool's jokes. We refuse to do them for no other reason than everybody else has done them, and now they're old. This, of course, is the Weekly Pour podcast, your mostly weekly information of rock, metal, and whatever else is going on from the 70s, more like the 80s and 90s, but here we are. Of course, we are brought to you by Petty Sport Decisions. And speaking of Petty Sport Decisions, we want to give a real quick shout out to Erin from Petty Sport Decisions. It is her birthday today, so happy birthday to Erin. We do not have a happy birthday song. I'm sure if we could get moderator Natalie on here, I'm sure she would sing. But we ain't got time for that. So we'll just say happy birthday to you.
Yay. Happy birthday.
Your sponsorship of this show. Speaking of Natalie, the moderator, she is in the chat. If you are watching this live right now on the YouTubes, jump in and say hi. She's in there, as well as Mama TbT, Mrs. TbT, Swath McFrick is in there. So we're just having a good old time. So jump in, say hi. If you're listening to this and not watching, well, you missed it live. The chat is always having a good time, which is great. We appreciate everyone that does come by. We appreciate you guys listening, all the fun stuff. It is, as I said, April 1st. It is finally April. We're getting some warmer temperatures. Summer is just around the corner, and I cannot wait. I'm done. I know we say this every episode for at least 100 and probably 50 when it's cold. I don't think we complain when it's hot.
I do. You say this. You say you're ready, right? You're over.
I'm ready. I
was informed today that I might need to get the wood stove going again for next week.
No, it's only going to be, there's like maybe 2 days that it hits the 50s.
It's going to be 20.
No, it's not.
20 degrees.
It is not.
Yes.
No, I'm going to pull it up right now. And if you're wrong, let me see. No, it's not. It's not. I just looked. It's not.
Okay.
It's not. So whoever told you that. What?
You trust that?
Yeah. Yeah. Told me today it was going to rain. And guess what? It rained.
Not for long. I mean, long enough, but it quit long enough for the wife and I to go out and work on the pool today, which is a good indicator, that we're getting ready for warmer weather.
Absolutely. Pool days are coming, and I can't wait.
We're not done by any means with the pool, but it is better than last year.
Excellent. Ours is too, but we've not done anything yet because, we're still going to see some 50-degree weather next week, but it could be time very soon to get the pump going. I kind of like to wait till more around mid to the late April, just because of all the pollen in the air that has a great ability to turn your water green.
We like to get it going early and close it late.
Yeah, I don't think you closed it until after our first snow.
Something like that, right?
Yeah, but
it's October. It's typically October.
Yeah, which I think we got snow this past October, but whatever. It still, I don't know. Maybe that's what I'll do in the next couple weekends, get out there and put everything back together. Because I'm ready for it. I might get into a dry suit and jump in the pool just to be able to do it. I have a friend that that myself and Mrs. TbT talked to. She said tomorrow she is going to her friend's pool because they've already got it ready. And I made a comment, it's too damn cold.
Right, the water wouldn't be ready.
No. So and she immediately said, "Yeah, I just want to go lay out on the deck in the sun."
Okay.
And
Fair
that
enough.
I understood. So, yeah. It is what it is. With it being April, we are getting very, very close to starting our concert series. For all the shows that are coming up. I know I've got my first one coming up in, I don't even know when, next month in May. I can say that now. May 7th, I'll be up at the Everwise Amphitheater, White River Amphitheater, whatever you want to call it, just outside of Indianapolis or in Indianapolis. I don't know.
You mean Deer Creek?
No. White River State Park
Oh,
Amphitheater.
White River.
Yeah.
You mean White River State Park?
I thought it was White River Amphitheater at some point.
Whatever, but
yeah,
the rotating, changing name thing just irks me.
Yeah. I'll be there on May 7th and then back down to Paoli in July and then up to Deer Creek, Ruoff, whatever you want to call it, at the end of August. So looking forward to getting those going.
That's the Youngblood show.
Nate, which one?
At Deer Creek, correct?
No.
He's at Everwise?
Yes.
Oh, wow. I thought he would be at the bigger venue.
Motley Crue is the one at Deer Creek.
Yeah.
And of course, Aaron Lewis, who we'll be seeing, is down in Paoli at Castle Knoll Amphitheater. See, I can remember those. I just can't remember White River. I got to check in real quick on the chat. Happy birthday. Ready for the warm. We're all ready for the warm. Pool days are my fave. We are going to Rock Orchestra in Bloomington this month. That comes from Swath McFick. She says she's going to that. Rock Orchestra. I have not seen that nor heard about it. I'm literally going to look it up right now since I might as well.
I wonder what that is. Is it like classical versions of rock?
So there is, I'm trying to find Rock Orchestra, a collection. I got to move this out. A collective of classical musicians breathing beautifully dark energy into legendary metal. My. The Rock Orchestra was created in 2020 by whoever with a vision of re-imaging legendary rock and metal with all the grace and power of classical. Complemented by a stunning gothic visual world, the Rock Orchestra breathes beautifully dark energy into your favorite songs. It presents them in a wholly unique way. With over 400 shows and 500,000 guests in only 4 years, the Rock Orchestra has quickly established itself as a mainstay for rock fans worldwide and calls itself home to a rotating collective of some of the world's most talented musicians and vocalists. Yeah, that actually does not sound very bad. I am trying to pull that up right now. That is a candlelight show on April 21st in Bloomington at the IU Auditorium in Bloomington, Indiana. IU being Indiana.
Did you say there was a vocalist?
I did read the word vocalist.
Yes, that would be. I'd like to see who that is, or if it's a rotating group of vocalists.
I'm going to go with rotating.
That would be fascinating.
I click now to see, tickets range anywhere from the lowest price of $55 to the highest price of $163. I'm pretty sure those would be, $162.85. That is orchestra level seating, about 2 feet away from the stage. But there appears to be plenty of tickets. It's an 8 o'clock show on Tuesday night, April 21st. Swath McFick says that YouTube it. It's awesome. So yeah, I'm going to have to do that because that may be something that I kind of need to go to, or at least check out. Play it loud on my speakers at home, and it won't cost me $55 because I'm cheap.
Well, these days, yes,
for sure. Because I still have to put fuel on my vehicle.
Exactly.
We have a plethora of news to get into, and some of the things that we're going to talk about tonight include, of course, some stuff on Triumph. We've got William Shatner back in the news again, even though we talked about him just a few weeks ago. There's some interesting stuff from the Journey camp. That to me was pretty big, considering you just went to the recent show. And of course, we got some Metallica stuff. I think I said Triumph already. There's even a story, if we get to it, about Lindsey Buckingham. Everybody should know who he is. And we have a theory. I don't know, but we have a theory. But we'll get into all that here soon. Nat or Swath, that's what I'm gonna call her now, Swath. She says that it's awesome. She needs to change her name. She says it's awesome. So yeah, definitely check that out. That is the rock orchestra. That'd be kind of neat. Are you doing okay, Ace? How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. This has been today especially was a good day. It's been a good week, but today was a good day.
Excellent. Did you shower?
Yes, of course.
There you go. It's a good day because you showered.
I don't typically have I don't have back trouble like some people have back trouble.
How did we go from showers to back trouble?
Because you asked how I was doing and you didn't follow up.
I asked you if you took a shower.
That's not following up.
Okay. I'm sorry.
So today, no back pain. And to me, that's a real good day. I changed some things. I'll tell you off air, but I changed a couple things, and I'll tell you. This has to do with how I sleep, and we've got one of those foam pads, toppers, that sort of thing. I don't adjust that topper real well, but it's necessity for the wife to have it, so it stays on, and I get up in the morning and my back hurts. It's all muscle related, that kind of thing. But today, though, while working and driving around like I do, no pain. So
that's good.
That was a good day.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm doing good as well. Doing great. Can't complain. Nothing to complain about. Dogs are good. The missus is good. I'm good. We had a dog scare my wife last week.
Not one of yours?
Yeah, it was one of mine.
Oh, okay.
Our smallest dog, the Chichihua, he sleeps in a kennel. We get him up. He goes outside, comes back, eats, does his stuff, but when we leave the house, he stays in the kennel.
Yeah, I've never seen him out of the kennel.
He's out every day, every night. So we get up one morning, I leave, go do my work, go to the job, and she's still here. And she goes to get him out. And she rattles the cage. Come on, buddy, time to go out. Didn't move. Ear didn't twitch, nothing. And she's like, what the heck? Even reached in, poked him. Didn't move. Nothing. And she's like, oh my gosh. Immediately grabs her phone to start getting ready to text me. Like I was going to turn around because, I'd just say stick him in the freezer. But she's freaking out. And she's like, oh my gosh. Picks up her phone, getting ready to text. And she hears, like he just let out a big sigh. He got up, stretched, and he's like, okay, let's go out. Homeboy was in dreamland so hard.
Siesta.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. He wasn't going to get up. Scared her to death. Because this dog is 15 years old, if not more.
Right.
So, we figured, well, that was the time. Apparently it wasn't. He
No,
was just sleeping really, really well.
you've got 15 more years of that dog.
I know. Probably. That's okay. I'll take it. He doesn't do much but sleep and eat and whine when he can't find his horse. We won't get into what he does with his horse because that's not important. We just mentioned a while ago that William Shatner was back in the news. We talked about him a few weeks ago. Of course, what we talked about was that at 95 years old, William Shatner, yes, we're talking about the William Shatner from Star Trek, TJ Hooker, and Boston Legal. Everybody knows who William Shatner is. We talked a couple weeks ago, I think, that he is working on a heavy metal music project. And this work continues because it's highly anticipated. And I can tell you it really should be, because if you've never listened to something William Shatner's done, do yourself a favor and check it out. It is a treat. I'll put it that way. Well, here just a few days ago, it was announced that a major collaboration is going to happen on this album that is sure to electrify fans worldwide. William Shatner has officially recruited none other than iconic frontman of Judas Priest, Rob Halford, who will join him on William Shatner's version of the classic metal anthem, You've Got Another Thing Coming. The collaboration pairs William Shatner's unmistakable spoken word intensity, and I'm not kidding, and neither is Ace when we talk about how intense his spoken word is. But his spoken word is going to be paired with Halford's, of course, soaring powerhouse vocals, creating a bold and unexpected take on one of heavy metal's most enduring tracks. There were a couple quotes, one from Shatner and another from actually Rob. William Shatner says, I've always been drawn to the energy and storytelling of heavy metal. Working with Rob on this track brings that intensity to life in a way that feels both timeless and entirely new. Rob Halford says, it's just, I'm sorry, it's comical, but I cannot wait for this. One life I'm going to live it up. William Shatner is boldly doing that more than ever, and I am honored to reinforce this message with him. Taking flight, I said I'll never get enough.
You got another thing coming. It's like that, kind of. Only better when he does.
With Rob Halford screaming in the back.
That's why I laughed, because when you said that, I heard the scream, and then I heard Shatner below him speaking. Yeah. It just cracked me up.
Exactly. I don't think, and I want to repeat this again because I said it a while ago when we first started this story. William Shatner is 95 years old. Yeah. 95. And
doesn't look a day over 75.
No, exactly. It looks like a young 74. So this is going to be one for the ages. I cannot wait for this to come out. I don't think we have a date of the release or anything, because there's other stuff that's going on. The recording is going on still. It's in production. Lots of stuff going into this. But having Rob Halford, number one, I mean, that's a selling point right there. Rob Halford is just amazing.
Right. And that's the only one we know of, right? Do we know of any other guests?
Yeah, we mentioned some of those on a previous episode. There's others that are supposedly confirmed. But I mean, we're really not going to know for sure until we get, news like this where it's like, oh yeah, he wanted, James Hetfield or whoever, and he's going to be on it. But to now know what song Rob Halford is going to be involved in is spectacular.
What, besides Captain Kirk, which is my favorite iconic William Shatner role.
Okay.
What other role is something that you would gravitate to? That if you had to watch William Shatner do something, what role of his?
Easy. Denny Crane.
Love Denny Crane.
Denny Crane.
Denny Crane. That was, oh gosh, that was so good. When he started that show and did that shtick, it was the best part of the show. The play between him and who's the other actor with him, James Spader.
Who
I'm
a huge fan of from the 80s.
Yeah, right. He's great in everything he does. But another one that made me think, as I'm looking through here, T.J. Hooker was just
absolutely
over the top, ridiculous.
Yeah,
that you have to love it. But yeah, Boston Legal was a fun show, but he made the show, I think.
Well, and we talk about this being, his voice and the way he's going to do these songs, and you gave a perfect example. This is the same guy that hosted Rescue 911 when that was a huge series,
right?
And 90% of that was just his voice, with all this footage and talking to victims and rescuers and all that. But it was William Shatner.
Yeah, he's very good.
Denny Crane.
Denny Crane. Mad Cow. I always liked when he would talk about having the mad cow disease.
Yeah.
That, and then oh shoot, I lost the thread, but he's always got something going on in the hopper. This guy is 95, you said?
Yeah.
And is not going to sit still waiting for someone to offer him something. He's just going to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what this record is.
And of course, once we get more information on it, we'll be sure to release it. I can guarantee you right now that when there are videos or whatever that come out, we will be posting those on our social media because you have to. You absolutely have to. We should have finished with that story because that's such an upbeat, comical story.
Right.
But it's so awesome. But moving on. One big thing that came out late last week, I think just a day before or a day after last week's show, it was October and November of last year, and we had talked about this, of course, previously as well. Bryan Adams completed his run of arena shows in October and November of last year. Of course, that was with Pat Benatar and Neil Giraldo. They have announced another run of shows, all three of them together. The new dates, which continue Bryan Adams' Roll with the Punches tour, will kick off at the Enterprise Center in St. Louis, Missouri on July 24th and wrap up on August 16th. So we're really only talking a couple weeks here. It's wrapping up in Milwaukee. The shows are in addition to his previously announced run of scheduled 2026 shows in South Africa, Tanzania, Morocco, Europe, and Canada, as well as his residency at the Wynn in Las Vegas. And we've got all those dates down here. If anybody is going to South Africa, he will be there later this month. And then his Las Vegas is the 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th of July. And then he's doing some other dates, presumably in Europe, to include Poland, Austria, Kosovo, Greece, Italy, Spain, and then hitting the States for the remainder of July until mid-August, none of which come around our area.
You better be ready to sit and enjoy this show. I'm looking at his most recent concert, which was in Bogota, Colombia, on March 20th. Yeah, did you see the list? 31 songs.
Yeah.
31 songs.
Did you also see the footage of the guy jumping on stage?
No, I did not.
Bryan Adams kicking off summer of '69 just got through the intro, that iconic guitar intro. Some dude jumps up on stage and sings like the very first verse.
Oh, does he really?
Yeah. And Bryan Adams just kind of steps back. Dude sings drunk off his butt. Not Bryan Adams, the guy that jumped up. And then they escorted him out and they continued the song from where he let off.
Oh, that's great. They didn't start over.
No.
They just picked it up.
Yeah, just picked it up from where it was. It's pretty epic. But yeah, be sure to check that out if you want to go see Bryan Adams, because that's got to be a monstrous show. Or just take a trip up to Canada.
He is such an international star.
Yeah.
As well as big here in the States, but these days, not that he's diminished here, but these days he may be bigger in other countries, and that's one reason the set list is so eclectic, because here I think we would be more preference to want to hear songs from Cuts Like a Knife and Reckless, and that run through there. But overseas, he is still punching out radio hits.
Yeah.
So you get 31 songs. I'd have to see what Pat's doing, but I doubt it's that much.
Probably not. But there's only one person I could think that would be more popular from that era, and that's Denny Crane.
Denny Crane. Good stuff.
That's not going to get old at all.
You should, at work, shake hands and introduce yourself that way.
You know what? That's not a bad idea. Denny Crane.
Oh, you could use your name.
No. TbT.
BT.
Yeah. I'm down. I'll try it tomorrow. Again, it seems like this foundation is in the news almost weekly now, because I think this is the third week in a row that we have mentioned them. But Metallica's All Within My Hands Foundation, a wonderful foundation that helps out different things, has recently donated $125,000 to flood relief efforts in Hawaii. They did that through 3 local organizations in Hawaii. There's no way in the world I'm going to try and pronounce those. If you're not familiar with it, Hawaii has had the worst flooding in 20 years that has left
Isn't
thousands.
That crazy?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's left thousands of people facing the monumental task of cleaning up from their damaged homes. Of course, those storms are really out of the area now, but more than a foot of rain. We're not talking snow. A foot of rain.
A foot of rain
fell in some of those communities. Unreal.
They're not susceptible to hurricanes, I don't believe. So you don't hear about hurricanes so much hitting Hawaii. So it's always been volcanoes you had to worry about, right?
Sure.
But apparently excessive rain is also a concern.
Well, there's only so far the water can go on an island. And when you get a foot, we're talking the norm stuff that you see around here, or in the States, the continental U.S., when you get lots of rain. Homes off of their foundations, just getting swept from floodwaters. Cars floating out of their driveways. Volcanic. So here's the thing, too, with all of that running water, and I know we're kind of getting away from actually talking about the Metallica story here, but all this moving water, it's not just moving sand. It's not just sand that's in Hawaii. A lot of this is volcanic ash, volcanic mud. So, if you think about that perspective, there's a lot of cleaning up to do. And I applaud, again, All Within My Hands, this foundation for Metallica. Huge for them to donate to this. There was something I was reading. This is a quote about what the board did. With strong ties to Hawaii, members of the board reached out to identify ways to support the community, and they learned that a friend of the foundation Jason Momoa, yes, Aquaman, was already there working with local organizations. So All Within My Hands is proud to join Jason Momoa and the many organizations and individuals working to provide critical relief and recovery assistance to the islands. If you didn't see it on the news, Google it. Take a look at some of the damaged areas, some of the destruction that they went through, because it's crazy. And you don't, when you think of Hawaii, you think tropics, tropical island and palm trees and coconuts and expensive bread and milk, not floods and volcanoes. But
says mainly Oahu was hit. The really bad. 115,000 Oahu residents faced power outages in the storm's aftermath, and hundreds of homes have sustained damage. So yeah, that's terrible.
Yeah, do not want to be involved with that at all. No thanks. We'll stick to our a little bit of rain and our lot of snow and the unstoppable amount of thunderstorms that we seem to be having in the last few months. Stupid. Tired of it. One big thing I know that you've been really excited about is this upcoming Triumph tour that is kicking off. There's been a little bit of news on that. Of course, we know that there's going to be additional musicians involved with this, including Phil X, of course, who's with Bon Jovi. Excuse me.
Todd Kearns.
I thought I was going to sneeze there for a second. Brent Fitz and Todd Kearns, both of who play with Miles Kennedy and the Conspirators. They're going to be joining this because, quite frankly, as we've covered before, the guys in Triumph are not young.
Right.
Phil X, of course, is a former member of Triumph, so this isn't anything new for him. But here recently, there was an interview conducted with Mr. Gill, and it's Gilmore for those that don't know. Gilmore basically said, yeah, we're gelling really, really well. That's a good thing to hear. I don't think they would have published this story if it was like, yeah, rehearsals suck. Right. And I'm not sure how this is going to work. But Gilmore basically says he can't get enough. He can't say enough about Todd and Brent and Phil. And so that's cool. And I know it's a short story, but.
Well, there's been video. Rick Emmett is really good about promoting things on his socials. And so there's been just a little snippets of rehearsal. One the other day where they were rehearsing Fight the Good Fight, which was so cool to see two drummers sitting there.
So that's the one where they're coming through the curtain, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. And they're playing it a little slower. And I wonder if that's to get their timing down. You got two drummers working in sync, so they've got to figure that out. We didn't get to hear, and I know why, because they're going to hold this back, but we didn't get to hear any vocal. And I so wanted to hear who was singing or how they're doing it or what they sounded like.
Right.
But we didn't get any of that, and we won't. We won't know anything until the tour starts. Yeah. As far as that goes. But we're getting snippets.
Yep. And I'll take snippets because it's better than nothing.
And matter of fact, the rehearsals have wrapped up when this story came out. Now this whole rest of the time is working on the stage show. And Triumph is known for their large stage shows and laser lights and all the things they do. So now they're working on, I think, the computer syncopation, the flash pots and all the things they do, getting that lined out. And in the meantime, still working on the music.
Yeah. And it's good to hear that everybody's gelling well, which of course, there wasn't going to be any doubt about that. One of the things I found interesting about this quoted interview is that Gilmore also said how good they are. They're not just fantastic musicians; they're great people. Him and Rick Emmett, of course, feel like we've got this brotherhood that's just come out of thin air almost. And of course, we're really hoping Mike's going to be with us as much as he can and actually get to experience those guys the way Rick and I have. We'll get our fingers crossed there. So it's good to hear. It's not just somebody announcing a tour. Yeah, we're going to do this. And then they're not going to rehearse. They're just going to wing it. These guys are going all out. And I think a lot of people are going to end up being very surprised at how this turns out, which I really hope.
I hope it's great. I think it will be great. And I think because we have these additional musicians, you'll get you won't get 31 songs, but you're going to get a full set list, to cover the gamut of this band's history.
Yeah.
I think.
Exactly. If you haven't been paying attention to our social media, you probably do not know that we didn't release it, but we posted. We released the Black Label Society new track that is called Ozzy's Song. I watched the video and immediately had to post it because it is absolutely epic. The song itself, who cares about the video? Just go listen to the song. But if you want to see...
Which is what I did.
But have you watched the video?
No, I listened to the song specifically.
You must watch the video. Very cool. Lots of good footage, older footage of Ozzy. Of course, Zakk Wylde is prominently featured in the video because, obviously Black Label Society.
He covers all the guitar players in that video, doesn't he?
Yes.
Yeah, including John Holmes or Joe Holmes. John Holmes.
Did you say John? I want to leave that alone. That would be a long talk. The song itself is absolutely epic. Sorry, I didn't mean to choke you up there. Sorry, did you get it caught in your throat? The song itself is absolutely epic. It is a piano-driven song, and the song itself does not actually mention Ozzy, like by name. But Zakk Wylde alludes to seeing the Prince of Darkness numerous times and, different memories and stuff like that. One of the probably the most badass things that I found out about this song and had no idea. And when I read it, I was floored because I wasn't really expecting that. But Zakk Wylde was even encouraged for this song to take out his Holy Grail. And if you don't know what that Holy Grail is, that is his 1981 Gibson Les Paul Custom that he wrote his first Ozzy song, which was Miracle Man. He wrote that on that guitar. As a matter of fact, he used that on like all of the Ozzy albums. But so it is a very iconic, I think, I could be wrong on that, but it is a very iconic guitar. And for that to be brought out for this song, just watch the video. He wrote his first song on it and did all the records with Ozzy with that guitar. So yeah, I was right. It's right there. And he says, it only makes sense that I'd play the solo on this fiddle. It is an amazing song.
The solo. Oh my Lord.
Yeah. Yeah.
Soulful. Ripping through emotion just through the instrument.
Oh,
such a good solo.
It is such an emotional song in itself. Because as the listener, what this is about. I mean, it's in the daggone title of the song. It's Ozzy's song. And of course, it is, just by the way, it is the last song on their new album. Yes. But the solo, like you just said, that solo takes that song and just crashes your emotions. Like you're done. You're up like a rocket and then you're just done. Because this is going to sound cheesy, but anyone that plays guitar or listens to music can totally get this and understand. That guitar weeps that solo. And it is
very
epic.
good. Yeah.
And we post what we can on socials when we remember and all that, but that was just one of those that you had to listen to it. That is probably going to be one of the mainstream things to hear as Black Label Society continues their North American tour. There are lots of dates still going on. We've got the rest. There's a few dates here in April and then some in May. Of course, one of those I thought was going to be around here. It may have already happened around here.
And you can guarantee that of any song from the new record, that will be included in the set list.
Yeah.
That song right there.
I would be shocked if it wasn't.
Yeah. I mean, I've not got through the whole record yet, but so far it's an amazing record. And I think that Zach wanted to put out an amazing record even more than you normally would, just to channel some Ozzy and do a tribute in a sense that, this one's for you kind of thing.
Exactly.
Not just a song, but the whole record.
Right. And it worked because it's good. It's very good. I highly encourage everybody to stop what you're doing, push pause, go listen to it, and then come back because you have to finish listening to us. Some interesting news coming out of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
No.
Believe it or not. As a matter of fact,
look at your poll.
I'm literally typing that in right now. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame fan vote 2026. We covered this a couple weeks ago. We're going to cover it again right now with over 8.6 million votes.
That's a lot.
That, remember, this is just the fan vote. And as we already know, the fan vote really doesn't mean crap because we'll mention them again. Pahish was the number one leader last year, and they didn't get in. So this year, the leaderboard, and I'm pretty sure it was the same as last week, New Edition with 953,000. I'm just going to read off the top 7 in the order they are listed. Of course, New Edition at number 1, followed by Phil Collins, followed by Pink, followed by Luther Vandross, followed by Shakira, followed by INXS, followed by Sade. Those not making the top 7, of course, include Billy Idol, Iron Maiden, the Black Crowes, so on and so forth.
I have a theory about that, too. I have a theory that rock fans aren't voting in this a lot or in droves because they know that some of these are acts that are represented just have a disdain for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for all the things that we've talked about and how they don't include rock acts nearly as much as they represent and include pop, rap, hip-hop, country.
Kathy just told me there's no R in Sade, but you're right. But go listen to her say it. On February 25th, when the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame revealed its diverse 17-strong list of acts nominated for induction in 2026, Iron Maiden was once again included in what marked the band's 3rd nomination after previously failing to get in back in 2021 and 2023. An interesting thing about that, there was somebody missing from the list of Iron Maiden band members that did at the time include Bruce Dickinson, Steve Harris, Nico, Adrian Smith, Dave Murray, and Janik. And then former guitarist Dennis Stratton, Phil Diano, I think I'm saying that right.
Paul Diano.
I said Phil. And former drummer Clive Burr. An interesting thing to note is that the singer from 25 years ago, who was actually on the first 2 albums, was not listed.
Well, he actually, this is the guy. Paul Diano was on the first 2 records.
Right. That is my mistake.
This person that you're mentioning replaced Dickinson for a brief period of time.
Yes. However, he was not listed as being a member that was going to be part of this induction. Of course, we're talking about Blaze Bayley, who I just mentioned, fronted Iron Maiden more than 25 years ago. However, he has now been added to the release, or added to the list. So it kind of makes you think.
Makes you wonder.
Makes you kind of wonder. Do we call it a clue? Is that evidence? We don't know. But as you pointed out, what does this mean?
You know, I think it might be an indication that Iron Maiden will finally be inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Now, we don't know how. Are they going through the front door or the back door? Because they
Sometimes it
now
doesn't
have...
matter what door you get into, just as long as you get in.
Right. Because now they have this influencer category, that we saw. Yeah, Randy Rhodes get into.
Right. I'm glad that they included
Mad
him.
Cow.
He absolutely deserves it. But I just wonder, and really Blaze Harris is like, or Blaze Bayley is like, yeah, I don't really care if I get into the Hall of Fame. It doesn't mean anything. Everybody says that because
Everyone says that.
right? Yeah, no one does.
And here's the thing too, this doesn't always happen where everyone is listed. I believe when Kiss went in, it was only the original 4 members. Gene, Paul, Ace, and Peter. That was it. No Mark St. John, no Bruce Kulick, that sort of, no Eric Singer, nothing like that. It was the 4 original members. They don't always do this. They did it with Deep Purple.
Sure.
With what was it? Phase 1 and Phase 2 of Deep Purple, which is why Coverdale got in.
Yeah. But I think it's cool. I'm glad they did it. It'll be interesting because I want to see if your theory is correct. I really hope it is. Obviously for Iron Maiden themselves, but to have everybody in and who cares if the 2 albums you were on were the worst selling ever for Iron Maiden? It doesn't matter because it's still Iron Maiden. A couple weeks ago, you went and seen Journey.
I did.
You enjoyed the Journey show. You talked about Arnel Pineda. You talked about the other people having vocalist tries doing their thing while it appeared Arnel got to take a break and relax, which may make this tour, this very lengthy tour, be able to continue. Well, it was earlier today that a story didn't break, it just came out because it was published, that Arnel Pineda apparently tried to pull out of Journey's farewell tour. I could never say the word farewell. But anyway, he tried to pull out of the band's recently launched farewell tour. It was during an interview with Rolling Stone magazine, Pineda revealed that he attempted to back out on multiple occasions, and the singer cited 2 key reasons for wanting to step away. Number 1, struggles with his voice. Okay, understand.
Which has been documented.
We already know this. The second reason, a difficult divorce, which may or may not have included allegations of domestic abuse, kind of like what I'm having happen to me right now. So this all started, I guess, back in 2024, and he was like, yeah, I don't think I want to do this. And he emailed everybody in the band and management. They ignored him.
That's just Arnel.
Yeah. He also wanted to discuss the schedule with them because he was not happy about the schedule that they were putting together. So he emailed him.
Crickets.
They ignored him.
He talks about physiological changes. His body has changed, and I can attest to this. He doesn't tolerate the cold weather very well because it hurts his voice. I struggle the same way whenever I try to sing anything past October up until now. I don't know what I couldn't tell you what the cold weather does, but I get it.
Shrinks
It's
your
a strain.
testicles.
Well, it's a strain, and if he can't, I don't have the tour dates in front of me, but if they chug along into the fall, there's a lot of dates.
Yeah.
What's he going to do? And then the other thing, the good thing they ignored him, because what would they do if he had pulled out?
Well, and that's the thing he points out. He says, because they didn't respond, and he basically says that silence can be louder than explaining. They didn't say anything, and despite his objections, Pineda is, of course, on the farewell tour. In his conversation with Rolling Stone, the singer admitted that much of his hesitancy was a byproduct of his divorce. He said that his personal problems really took a toll on him. It's not that he hated touring with Journey. He said it's like the same thing that happened with Steve Perry, who has a hip problem.
Right.
Pineda has a personal problem that's taken a toll on him. It was getting in his head, emotionally.
Sure.
He told him that he was a wreck and needed a little more time so that he could fix his family, but he still has to do this. Of course, they did not want to have to go and try to find a singer. This tour kicked off last month, March 2026, and is expected to run through 2027. So I'm looking real quick to see if I can.
And this goes right into what I said when I reviewed the concert, which is, having three singers up there sing, not only singing backup, but doing lead vocals to give Arnel a break when he needs it. And it worked so far. So far, it's worked.
Yeah.
Because who else would they go get? They go find Steve O'Gerry and try to convince him to come back. Steve Perry ain't coming back.
They can't get Sebastian Bach. Twisted Sister already grabbed him.
He's already busy. So I don't know what they would have done. And if he hadn't been there, honestly, it wouldn't have been the same, in the sense that it's a farewell tour, allegedly. And this is the guy that's the longest tenured singer in Journey. He's just as identified to be in Journey as Steve Perry. I'll say that.
Yeah, I think so.
You and I remember Steve O'Gerry, but there's a lot of fans that period was so brief. There's a lot of fans that don't even know who that guy is.
Yeah.
But Arnel's been there a very long time.
This is much like the constant singing changes with the band Chicago. Same kind of thing. Everybody remembers Peter Cetera, but then they're like, oh wait, who is that other guy that sang, like, I can't think of it.
Saturday in the Park, or
sure,
right.
There are some that continue with without that noticeable lead singer, but right before a tour, losing Pineda would have been horrible,
devastating.
Yeah, it probably would have ended up stopping it from happening, but luckily it didn't. The tour continues. I think
because no one listened to him.
Right, nobody listened, and I think this just happened to be one of those articles or interviews. He's like, you know what? I can let this out now. It doesn't matter. I'm on the tour. We're doing it. So that's a good thing. Speaking of touring, as we roll up to the last few minutes of this episode, fresh off of their first ever full U.S. run in support of Bad Omens, the band President will return this fall to the United States to headline venues across the continent for the very first time. The mysterious masked British rock band President continues to exist at the intersection of heavy metal, electronic experimentation, and cinematic atmosphere. They launched in 2025, and operate under a cloak of minimalism and anonymity. I love that name, or that word, anonymity. It reminds me of Shrek. Not Shrek. What's the little fish?
Nemo?
That's the one. Yeah. Anyway, President has been cultivating intrigue with each single and live performance. Of course, just a few days ago, President released the song Mercy. No more than what I think maybe two weeks from when they released Angel Wings. There's not a single song that this band has released that's like, meh, I can skip it. Because they grow on you like and I'm going to say this word, not meaning that this is what they are. It sticks to you like an industry plant because they're made to listen and grab onto your brain or something. I don't know. I'm super stoked that they're getting a headlining tour. Unfortunately,
A headlining tour.
Yes.
That is insane to me.
For a band that just launched last year.
Right. And what is the amount of songs that we actually have to pull from?
6.
6 songs.
I think 6 that have been released. I'm sure they have plenty more that have not been released.
But they got to fill the set out with something.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, if you've not taken the opportunity to take a look at President, YouTube that at some point and just go look at some of the live shows that they did with Bad Omens. There were many, many comments that were on these things that people would watch, and they would say they went for Bad Omens and left a President fan. They're very intriguing. They're interesting. This is the same thing. I'm not comparing the two. This is the same thing with Sleep Token. You go to Louder Than Life or wherever you go to watch all these other bands, you leave as a Sleep Token fan. That's my dream tour right there. Sleep Token and President, co-headliners, kind of like Metallica and Guns N' Roses. Let's have it. Let's do it. First gig in my garage.
I don't know that would. I don't know that President is at that level yet. They're doing a headline tour. Let's not rush this and throw them up there with Sleep Token or Ghost or somebody. We'll see. We'll see.
Just wait.
That's a high bar. You know?
It is. But have you listened to all of their songs?
No. You sent me the latest one, and I did not get around to it yet.
Wow. It's been like a week since I sent it.
I know. I'm too busy listening to classic rock.
To everything else. As we round out this week's episode, what a story that just dropped probably no more than a couple hours ago. Former Fleetwood Mac guitarist and vocalist Lindsey Buckingham was attacked by a woman in Santa Monica, California today. The woman, whom authorities had described as a stalking suspect, threw an unknown substance at Buckingham when he entered a building for an appointment and then took off. Police have identified the suspect, but no arrests have been made just yet. Law enforcement sources say that they anticipate an arrest soon. Buckingham apparently knows the assailant from previous incidents.
Right. Very well.
And the musician was not injured during the attack. We are not making fun of the attack or the fact that it happened, because he could very well have been hurt.
Or stalking. We're not making fun of stalking.
We do not condone stalking.
I just want to know why Stevie Nicks is doing it.
Right. Me too. I thought there was a possibility that they were going to do some kind of reconnection or something.
That's what the article states, is that there's a hint of a reconciliation, but maybe he's getting the wrong hint.
I don't think there's much of a hint anymore. Maybe that was the hint. She threw something at him. She's like, "We're going."
And the article doesn't say what was thrown.
No.
I don't know what that would be.
It's an unknown substance.
She is a witch. So
moon water.
there's that.
She threw moon water. Get your ass in gear.
Whatever that does.
Yeah. We really hope that he does well. And hopefully this alleged stalker is taken care of.
Hopefully.
Yeah. That's all we got for this week.
Real quick, if you haven't looked, I sent it to you, but if anyone wants to, Rush performed at the Juno Awards over the weekend. First time they've been on stage with the new drummer.
Who?
Rush. It's a big deal. It's a big deal.
Is it
another Canadian band? But yeah, they performed on stage at the Juno Awards. It was great. Check it out.
Yep, it is a good video. Like Ace said, be sure to check that out and check that drummer out because she's pretty badass.
Yeah, she's very good.
Yeah. We'll be back next week. This was episode 176 of the Swathing Cool Charday Weekly Pour Podcast.